Welcome back to Drive in Anger. So, I did a video over here a few years ago when I purchased my silver hypersonic gray metallic C8 Corvette Z51. And I was comparing it to my ZLE, which is my ZL1 1LE Camaro. And of course, I had a C7 Z06 years ago. And one of the things I noticed about the C8 initially in relation to my ZLE, my ZL1 1LE, was that the acceleration was not as visceral in the C8 Z51 as it was in my my original ZL1 1LE. And anyway, I the C8 Z51, it grew on me, and when I tracked it, I felt really good on it. I was able to push it a little bit more than the ZLE. It was a little bit of understeery going into some of the corners, but with the track alignment, that dialed out some of the understeer nature that was in that Z51 Stingray. Well, I got rid of the Z51, and now I am in this new Z06 C8 Z06 with the Z07 package or Z07 package on there. Just like my previous C7 Z06, it also had the Z07 package. This one has the carbon ceramic brakes, of course, so it completely eliminates brake dust. It has the front dive plane. It's not in carbon fiber, it is just the flash black, I guess. But that's good enough for me. I give it a little wash the other day, and of course it has the high wing, which I think generates maybe about 700 pounds more downforce on the rear end. So overall, this is an amazing car. It's the Accelerate yellow color. I'm not big on the bright colors, but I went with this one for some reason. It comes with the Michelin Cup 2s, which is the track rated tires. I haven't tracked this thing yet. It only has about 1,300 miles on it, and it's recommended that you get at least 1,600 miles before you track it. The braking period has already been done. That's 600 miles, I think, 500 or 600 miles for that. So I'm well beyond the braking period. So the major difference between this for me and my original C7 Z06 is that the acceleration in this is not as visceral as it was in the C7 Z06. The C7 Z06, the acceleration was absolutely violent in my experience. And to some extent in the ZL1 1LE that I had, which also had the same engine as the C7 Z06, that acceleration was also very visceral, especially when the supercharger kicks in. I remember the first time I took my ZL1 1LE to Eagle Canyon Raceway in Decatur, Texas. There's a back straight where I was getting up to 130 miles an hour on the back straight before the braking event. And whew, it was just so amazing. Just as I'm about to stand on the brakes to slow the car down, I could feel an amazing kick in acceleration. I don't know if that was the supercharger kicking in late and the RPM band or whatever it was, but just as I'm about to hit the brakes, it would frighten me the first time, right? The first time I was like, oh shit, it caught me off a little bit. But then as I got used to it, it was amazing. It was one of the best elements of that car. This one here, although it's faster on the timesheet than the C7 Z06, the acceleration doesn't seem as visceral, and it doesn't seem as tricky to drive as the C7 Z06. The C7 Z06, I remember I would be spinning the wheel at 75 miles an hour on the highway when I step on the throttle heavily. The back end would get sideways and things like that. Whereas with this one, the power seemed to come on a little bit different. It's not as aggressive. It's not as abrupt as the C7 Z06. This C7 Z06 also had 650 foot-pounds of torque. This one only has about 465 or something to that extent, much less torque than horsepower in relation to what the C7 Z06 had, which had 650 horsepower and 650 foot-pounds of torque. This car seemed much easier to drive. I haven't driven it on the limit yet. Like I said, I haven't tracked the vehicle yet, so I haven't driven it on the limit. And even if I was to track the vehicle, I'm not a professional driver, so driving it on the limit is perhaps something that I'm not going to be able to do. I'm not going to be able to get nowhere near what this car is really capable of on a track, but I could get to within my capabilities in this machine on the track. As far as looks, it looks menacing. It's a very, very, very pretty car. Eye candy, to say the least. The tires are huge on the back. The back tires are very, very, very large. Bigger than the C7 Z06. I think this is a 345/25 Z21, so 21-inch rim, 345/25. My Z06, C7 Z06, I believe it was 325 in the back, 325 or 335 in the back. I don't remember exactly what it was. There are some things that I have planned for this car. I reached out to Paragon Performance and see if they could sponsor by sending me some of the bits that I would like to add to it. But of course my channel don't have as many followers, so I am not an asset to them because I don't have a lot of followers. So I would really, really like it if you guys like and subscribe to my video, to my channel, so that I could grow the content. So that I could, do more. Of course, I have to pay this out of my pocket, and it's owning a Z06 is not cheap. Plus, buying all of the modifications I'm going to do is not going to be cheap either. But if you guys could subscribe and, I don't know, maybe donate. I think I have a Cash App on my channel as well, so donate. So one of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to go through a list of things that I'm going to do on this in terms of modification. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the car by about maybe an inch. Paragon Performance has the bits that is necessary or that can be used to actually lower the car. It requires obviously taking out the front bumper, taking off the this one has the automatic lift, the front lift. So Paragon Performance have the bits that I can use to lower the front end of this car. In addition to that, I will also lower the rear end. The rear end doesn't need, all it needs to do is there's a couple of levers on the back that can be twisted to drop the rear end down to the same level that I will be dropping the front end. So if you notice, there's a lot of room in between the fender and the tire. So I'm going to lower that to about an inch lower than it is. That's the first thing. The first thing is to lower the car. The next thing that I'm going to do is, if you notice, the rear tires is encapsulated underneath the overlapping nature of the fender. So I'm going to use spacers, and Paragon Performance have 15mm spacers that can be used also on the rear end to bring the tires out, to make it more flush with the actual fender. That's going to be the next thing I'm going to do. And so lower the car, use the spacers on the rear end to bring the wheel out a little bit so it could be closer to being flush with the actual fender well itself. In addition to that, I have carbon fiber bits on the inside. On the door panels here, I have carbon fiber bits, but here and over there on the driver's side, I'm going to add the carbon fiber bits to make it a little bit more comprehensive on the inside in terms of the carbon fiber. What else I'm going to do? As you can see, the radiator, the grill, the front bumper, the holes that is between the bumper and the radiator is quite big. And so debris from the road, rocks and different things, bugs, can damage a little bit the radiator. So again, Paragon Performance have radiator guards, I guess, that you could put on to prevent rocks and road debris from actually damaging the radiator. So that's also going to get done. In addition to that, the engine, I mean, it's a Z06. It's an amazing car already, but Paragon Performance also have the Venturi exhaust system, which the Venturi intake, which I'm going to replace the factory or the stock intake with the Venturi intake. So that's going to be another thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to black out the lights on the back end. So the brake lights, the indicator light, I'm going to black that out on the back end on both sides. In addition to that, I'm going to put the Formula One light that flashes 3 times to let people behind me know that I'm about to stop. What else? Of course, I need to get the towing hook. So when I do track the car, it's necessary for us when we go to track that we have the towing hook attached to the car. So I'll probably put it on the front of the car like I've had on my other, on my C8 Z51. In addition to that, there are a few other things that I want to change out as well, like the so I had a throttle manager that I got from Paragon Performance last time also in the C8 Z51, which allow you to be more precise with the throttle. So if for 10% throttle will give you 10%, right? 50% throttle will give you 50%. So you get more responsiveness from the car as well. So I'm going to add that also. In addition, I will change out the throttle bodies as well. So I'm going to add 2 new throttle bodies, which will give more air intake, obviously, especially in conjunction with the Venturi airbox. That's going to be amazing, and I think that's going to increase the power in the car significantly. Anyway, so those are some of the things that I have coming for my C8 Z06. Like I said, the acceleration and the driving of the car is not as visceral as the C7 Z06, but this car is phenomenal. I can't say enough about the driving. It feels wonderful. It feels amazing. I like the cockpit, the way Chevy has made it more driver-centric. The passenger might feel a little bit out in left field, so to speak, but this is an amazing car, and I'm happy and grateful that I'm able to experience this car for however long I can afford to experience it. So yeah, so this is my brand new C8 Z06 with the Z07 package, and those are some of the things that I will be doing, some of the modifications that I will be adding to my Z06. So please like, share, and subscribe. I really would like to grow this channel, and I really would like to do some mods to this car. I really would like to also take it to the track and do some filming of track days and track events and things like that, because I don't know how much longer this game of life will continue for me, and I want to enjoy as much of it as I possibly can. So those of you who like cars and see it in your heart to donate to my channel, please do. If you can't donate anything, but you could like the video, you could share the video, or give a subscription or something, that will also help. Anyway, Driving Anger, brand new 2024 C8 Z06, Accelerate Yellow. Really amazing car. So tune in for more videos to come. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe.